All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming with a short message. Being so, I was trying to relax all day in a way that I was uh, what you call totally relaxed. I decided to just lay in the bed and relax, and I began to be tossed and turned by the Spirit of the Most High Yah regarding something He had and He was implanting in me. First and foremost, I like to say I really like the idea of living to behold that individuals that are actually getting it. Uh, as I recognize a couple of our men teaching, I realized I said, Father, they are getting it. I'm liking that. I'm liking the idea. They are starting to get it. So what? It's a pin needle. But guess what? Just the idea of being able to live in this day and time and see and hear and behold that there are those that are out there that are getting this thing, and it's almost like a baby to me. I'm like seeing them just getting small pieces. And to me, them small pieces looks like, to me, from my view of what I'm seeing, a pin needle of light. And as long as you have a pin needle of light, let me tell you something, you in there. And just to hear these two separate individuals teach, a group of men teach, it felt good. It always feel good to me is when people are put the power back where the power belongs, put the glory where it belongs, put the praise where it belongs, put the creator where he is, where he was, and where he shall always be. Put him where we need to put him and place him and keep him there. But because I say Judith, and the reason why I say Judith, because I without a doubt, I already know my calling, I know my purpose, and I am to be in and among the tribe of Judith. I am a prophet among the tribe of Judith, and just to see that the Father in such a midnight hour, still yet leaving a pin needle of light for those who see in darkness. And I'm learning that when I see this, I'm learning that this is the way he's going to do it. It's not like 99.9 gonna wake up out of nowhere and they're gonna see a pin needle light. I think these are individuals that already had the light before them, but they were so far in darkness in what you call their own understanding, their own wisdom, their own interpretation, and their own teaching, okay, their own everything, to the point when they see a light flash on, they go straight to that light. To behold that is a beautiful thing. That is a spiritual, beautiful setting to me, to see them in the dark and all of a sudden the light flick on and they see that light and they go right into that light to try to reach the destiny of where that light is. I love that. And I experienced that today. A couple of our men that's in groups actually teaching that thing in that way, and understanding that pretty much when they were talking, it was almost like, wait a minute, it's new to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like saying, oh, I guess it doesn't matter when they got it. It's just the idea of pin needle of light. And I love beholding that in this day and time, to see a couple of our brothers in groups get that thing. And when they got it, they spoke on it, and they didn't let it go. They took it from one level to the next, to the next, to the next, and I loved it. And they did a really good job. They did a really good job. It took them 3.5 hours on one, and the other one about 2 hours, but they nailed it. They nailed it in spirit and truth, and that's what's more important. So I say that it feels good to behold that in such a critical time as this that we are in. So that is a pen needle of what you know, that there is hope, you know. And it's not that the Father is coming down and opening up the eyes, the blind eyes. No, he's not. He's not doing that. He's letting everybody catch up with where they need to be, because they thought they were supposed to be here. And I'm letting them catch up where they need to be. So, because these guys, they've been on there a long time. Matter of fact, they were the first one I followed on YouTube. So just to hear them speak today about, and what done it was, they spoke about what took place before the foundation of the world, y'all. And when they did, they nailed that thing. They nailed that thing. And in them nailing it, it also brought them to a level of being able to speak on the fact that while we trying to mend people mindset to be this, did, they said, and we have to understand somewhere in us, wait a minute, this stuff was already finished in the heavens. I love that. I love beholding a group of Judah getting together, coming to the conclusion, because they went on talking about all this stuff that they've been up under and believing, and how they believe what they were taught, and this and this and this, and to just a pen needle light comes and change their whole perception of fringes and do this, eat this, do this. They're not saying, see, what people didn't know, a lot of things that the Father has given to us, it was for our good, not his. No. When he was telling us what to eat, it was for our own body. He knew that our body was created a way that this type of animal or whatever, or this is what I created, is I didn't create it for your body. So when he's giving us a diet, he's telling us, okay, this wasn't created for you to eat, so don't eat this. So the only one knows that is the Most High Yah. So he's not saying that this is your heaven or your hell. If you eat this, you're going to hell. If you eat this, you're going to heaven. No, he's not saying that. He was just telling us the diet is for the flesh. Okay? The diet I'm giving you all is for your flesh, because I created all things, and I know I didn't create this for your body, so don't go eating it. That's what he's saying. See, we need to put the order back in order. We need to stop saying and putting him one way when he didn't say it another. But it's too late. It's too late to try to switch it, because I even looked at a little bit of a GOCC to see what he was saying about Babylon. And I realized that this dear individual is so in tune with people coming to his academy. He's not going to tell nobody spirit and truth. Record with GOCC. He's not going to give nobody. He's with the system that gives him a, what is it, that a 401k or whatever you call it. And he's with the system, that state and government system. He's not going to give you spirit and truth. But the other two groups of men, they spoke spirit and truth, even though it was a pen needle light. Just imagine that small part of knowing that before the foundation of the world, the beginning and the end was finished. Do you all understand what that feel like? What is that like to know that in the beginning, when the Most High Yah ordered all things through his word, it was ordered from the beginning, and he took the beginning and added the end, and it was finished then before it was here. So just to hear, like I say, Tribe of Judah men, the two separate groups, understand something took place before the foundation of the world. And then they begin to talk about a lot of things. Just that piece right there brought them into a whole lot of different revelations. They were on there 3.5 hours, but it took them a long ways. Why? Because you be up under all this teaching, and you be up under all this, and it sounds good. Y'all don't get me wrong. It sounds good. It precept upon precept and line upon line, and a little here and a little there. No matter where the little is in the precept and the line, you got to line up. And with the word, which is in the kingdom. You can hear the word, but you have to be able to understand. You got to accept the word before you accept the words. Meaning, you got to know it's something bigger than a book that you can sit down and read. That's that title I was saying. When you just make him, make the Most High. If you don't know him outside of a book, you don't know him, because he's not a book. You see? He's not a book. He is not something that you could just read and, hey, bam, I got it. No, that's why you still where you at. And this is why many, 99.9 is still where they at. They don't want to come out of the fact that, wait a minute, like these these older men, they were saying about what took place before the foundation of the world. And they were like, just so excited to know the revelation in plain view. That, wait a minute, we sitting here talking about this. And when you listen to all these people, when I listen to all these people on these platforms, Judah is only talking about Judah. We talking about, and we that are Judah, we putting ourselves too high when we should remain low. We have placed ourselves so high on the pole, and we are not appealing to be nowhere near the pole. But yet, those that teach this Hebrew Israelite movement, they put Judah so high up on the pole, you see, to where they don't even understand Judah is not there. Judah is nowhere but under the pole. Only way Judah gonna make it anywhere is when the Most High Yah bring him up out of here. Outside of that, it's no needed. And this is why you see us in the media, because the media wants to tell everything we're doing, because it makes, believe this or not, it makes the four corners see us and see what we're doing. And like the Father asked me a couple of years ago, you're telling me that the heathens and Gentiles have Judah all on the news and always telling what Judah doing this, Judah doing that. Then the Spirit of the Most High said to me, but Deborah, are they doing it? When he said that, I couldn't do nothing but hang my head, because I said, it's almost saying, why are you wanting to hide what they doing? They ain't trying to hide it, but why are you trying to hide it? Why are you frustrated because the Gentiles, the heathens, the Europeans are trying to make a nation of people look a certain way? Why? They should be more concerned about the one that's going to make their way versus looking at the one that's trying to make them look a certain way. But what he's saying is they're not concerned about being anything righteous. So why are you trying to defend what the heathens and Gentiles are saying about them? Or why the Gentiles and heathens and Europeans are putting them nationwide on the four corners and not themselves? And they are the greatest in anything, killing, drugs, everything. But yet they put the tribe of Judah before the four corners of the world. So the Father checked me on that by saying, are they doing it? And I think that a lot of us is real with a cause and without a cause, because he was dealing with me let me tell y'all something. Don't laugh at this, y'all. But he was dealing with me so much to where I decided to get up out the bed, because it was giving me a headache. I'm going to tell you the truth. And it was saying, get up. I want you to dig into this. There's several things he wants me to dig into. But what he is saying is, we as the tribe of Judah has put ourselves too high above who we are. Because to see who we are in this country, whether it's the Gentiles or heathen, are we doing these things in which they say, or putting up on the four corners. If we weren't doing it, then they wouldn't have nothing to put up. But somewhere along the line, he said, we're looking at each other one way and not understand everybody is not that one. But yet we put ourselves in there, not looking at what is the whole, let's say the tribe of Judah in this United Snakes. What is the tribe of Judah doing? When we got out of 100%, we'll take 10% would be on corners doing camp, academies, in being pastors, being Maureen seers and watchmen. They doing all of that over here. He said, but that can't be no more than 8 to 10% out of the 100. What is the other 90 doing? You got 50% in the Christian church. You got another 15% in the Catholic church. You see? And then here you got this 10% over here that says they represent and they are awakening, but they out of the 10%, 9% speaking not spirit and truth. So really, do the nation itself as a whole, are they really lining up? No, they're not. Long ways. So what is it these people are saying? That's why Sister Deborah have told you time after time, it's all about spirit and truth. If people are not teaching and preaching spirit and truth to the tribe of Judah, Judah is lost with the cause and without one. You see, you can teach. You got GOCC got all these academies, and he starts. I think it's one start next week, and that's all it's about. And no one, and the tribe of Judah don't even understand. This man is making big dollars off of the tribe of Judah that's awakened 10%, teaching all of this information that's not light, that's not spirit and truth. It's all about building up money. Then you got out of the 10% that said they're awakened, you got another, I would say 4% on this devil platform teaching lies, swinging the world and this Bible if they both are equally as far as the prophecies and what is to come. They just swing any and everything, but more so they lean toward the world and what's going on with the world. You see a lot of, I'm going to show you who the tribe of Judah is, since when I speak as a prophetess in the wilderness and has been appointed, anointed, and predestined to really reside among the tribe of Judah, I want to show you exactly what you see. What you see in the world today is who Judah really is. If you ever decide to take, I say one day, and just go to the media, and go and through the media, just check through everything and see what the tribe of Judah is doing to each other. This is the type of people they are. They eating each other alive. You see? Every darkness and wicked is out, and it's like they don't give a rat's behind. It's just so much out there that shows that the awakening 10% that says they're awake, you ain't too awakened. When the other 90% still dead sleep, but yet you 10% and you say you're waking, but you ain't teaching nobody spirit and truth. The 10% is not bringing the light to the people that's the 10% awakened. You're trying to get academy classes where you can teach. And if you have to teach these classes, you got to stay with your curriculum that you have taught since the beginning. And baby, let me tell you something. Just like the 2 sets of elderly men that was teaching today, I'm sure they could get on here and tell you, but that's not what I was learning in the last 15 years. They'll tell you. What they spoke today is a different from what they had been learning, but now they know, and that's the most important thing. And that leads me to understand that's probably why it's because the end where we're at, as far as the mission of the Most High taking us out of here, it's time them to start connecting, because just to hear them and for me to behold it and see, it felt good, because I told y'all since I was 4 years old, And when I was a teenager, I got the full deal of what took place before the foundation of the world. And like I try to explain to you all, it is such a blessing. That is a beautiful, really powerful blessing, y'all, to know what took place before the foundation of the world, because it strengthens you with an unusual power. It really does. To know what took place before the foundation of the world, it gives you this power beyond power. And but to know what took place before the foundation of the world, you got to keep the glory and the authority in the hands of the Father, the Creator. You can't give the Father's power, his word, his honor to a man to give you insight of what took place before the foundation of the world. You have to make sure you leave it in the hands of the Most High Yah, and just embrace it, love on it, and say, now I know. So all these different platforms and these different church or these different cults, and thinking, hey, I'm learning this, and I'm learning this. But when you know what took place before the foundation of the world, a lot of this you'll say, no, because it all lines up. It all lines up with what started, what you see today, what you seen yesterday, what was here before anything was here. That's the importance of knowing what took place before the foundation of the world. And as these guys was talking, they were talking about, so we know that can't be. I love it. When I heard that, the elderly, one of the elderly, he's the main teacher, the elder, he said, see, and to know that and to read this, I know this can't be. Because what took place before the foundation of the world is such a powerful educational, spiritual tool. You know, it'll check you before you can even check yourself. And you'll be saying, well, but this can't be, because this don't line up with, if this all already was, it was before heaven and earth was created. So what are they talking about here? And when I seen the man do that, I said, oh no, they got it now. They sell on now, they got it. And you ain't gonna find that on this devil platform. That was unusual for me to see the brothers speak on that level, both of them. And one had 5 men at a table, and the other one had 3. But these were two different YouTube page, but they were talking about what took place before the foundation of the world, and it brought them, because they said, and we got our fringes, but no, we understanding that the fringes ain't got nothing. They start breaking that down. See, because that's what I was saying to you. When we finish nourishing and giving the flesh what it wants, we have had forsaken the spirit. You see what I'm saying? So we say, okay, let's keep our heads wrapped, no earrings, no makeup. All men must have fringes. We must have jewelry saying Yah. When he said no jewelry, no nothing that says that, I mean, we can't wear that saying it represents Yah. He said no stones, no wood, but you can't get it in their heads for nothing. Because what Judah think is everything that he is and was and going to be is already on the highest pedestal. And that's what they're looking at. Oh, I'm way up on the tallest pole because I'm Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or I'm the true Jew, or I'm the Hebrew Israelite, and don't understand. And another thing the men said, no, that was the other group, because he's talking about a different Israel. And the other guy said, yep, he's talking about a different group of Israel. And guess what they connected to? They connected to there is Hagar and Sarah, a bonds and a free. Sarah was the promise, and Hagar, was the bonds woman, the bonds woman, whatever. But he said Sarah was the promise. Now you see those two right there. They have already been spoken of two totally different people. Okay. I mean, two totally according to the what? They both females. They both slept with Adam. They both had Adam's kids. But what? Only one of them was the promise. That's just like Sister Deborah tried to tell y'all. There's two Israels, baby. Only one Israel is coming out of the other. There's two Judah, but only one Judah is coming out of the other. I told you guys everything was put into twos. So to hear these guys say that, I was like, they got it. They got it. They got a pen needle. And if they can just take that and run, it'll enhance their understanding in the spirit realm big time. Because once you know what took place before the foundation of the world, you could probably get on here and have your own page and preach that thing. Because it takes you to a level where you can talk to people, you can speak to people, you can teach people from a level of where you at, and you don't have to be crawling all over all this stuff that everybody is saying and everybody telling you got to do this, you have to do this. Everything that man is controlling on our outer man, it has nothing to do with our spiritual Yah. You see what I'm saying? It has no connection, because see, the Father is only taking that which is belong to him in spirit. That's why the two seeds were in the garden. I mean, not the two seeds. When he was telling Satan in the garden, as he spoke to the serpent, he said, which was Satan, I'm going to put intimacy between the two. He already told us it's going to be two. So you see, it's so many spiritual things that's being said. 99.9 of Judah is missing. Even the 10% that said they're awakened, they still are missing it, because they are lining it up in a way that is pleasing the outer man. Well, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the core of it. Has nothing to do with this, and that's what made me feel good, is to see the group of me and them coming out of that darkness into a pen needle of light. That, wait a minute, child, we said this. Now, do they teach what the diet? Do they teach certain things? Yes, but don't teach it to the point of it bounds people from Yah, because it doesn't. Yah ain't coming for nothing on the outside of a man or a woman. He's coming from what's on the end. And what is actually going on for us, the outer side of it, in the lust, also is caused from. Everything wicked and evil is caused from the flesh. You see, so we can't put so much training, and we have. And when you look at the Catholics, you're looking at the Christians, the Jehovah's Witnesses, everybody put a lot of emphasis on the outer man. And they have 100% forsaken the inner man, because that's the only part that the Father in heaven deal with. So they forsaken it. They don't want to have no dealings with the inner man, because they have locked themselves in to believe that everything that has to deal with the Most High Yah has to be trained from the outer man. We have to get the outer man in order. So this is why you had a lot of Catholics and Christians. That's why a lot of Catholic people will go to Catholic church, because they can fake it. They can come in, they can look it, they can play the role, they can act the role, they can give their offering, they can do everything on the outer side. But on the inside of them, they are Satan's children. You see? So let me tell y'all, the outer man is easily to deceive the mass and make people think that the mass is the way to go. It's, if everybody's doing it, everybody believes that everybody should look like this and dress like this, act like this, wear this, eat this, do this. That's on the outer man. Food cannot do nothing to your spirit. So you think that the Father is caught up in your food that you eat? He already then laid the ground. Certain things I tell you don't eat, because it's not good for the body in which I have created, which is your flesh. That's all he's saying. But he's not saying if you eat it, you're going to hell and you doomed. And that's any and everything that the Hebrew Israelites have taught. They have not seen, they have not ever saluted that the fact that it's the inner man and not the outer man. But the Father already knew it. He knew it before the foundation of the world. And that makes it all good. Let them do what they do best. And that is follow that which can be easily believed from the outer man. So when he was taking me there, he took me many places, because he had, my head was hurting, and he was saying, I was like, oh, so now I got to get up. He said, I want you to cover this. And I'm like, But these people so far from this, Father. They so far from this. But I'm going to go on and cover a little of this anyway. He was telling me about, oh boy. Okay. You remember when Mary was invited to a wedding feast? What a lot of people didn't understand, and they should have, was Yeshua was pretty much explaining to us that the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom is at hand. And because we didn't know what the gospel or the kingdom was, we just assumed that we just make it what we've been taught that it is, or what we interpret from what we read. But Yeshua was actually saying that the power of Yah is at hand reach. I'm down here to represent his power. The kingdom of Yah is at hand. That means his power is at hand reach. That means it's right before us. It's at hand reach. And the gospel of the kingdom, you see, is still taking you back to understanding the power. And because man never understood the power, nor do they understand it now, it really sets the picture for any and everything. But let me say this here, what he got on me about too this morning. He said, now you see how people are so quick to minister, to teach. They can break a sermon up and break it down on the fallen angels. He said, Deborah, what am I doing in Revelation? Now, see, I'm going to tell y'all, I read Revelation years ago. A lot of things that I read, I was like, where are these things coming from? I didn't know. That was years ago. But I'm here to tell you all, Revelation is doing something that 99.9 never knew. See, Revelation, the reason why you never had them going into Revelation, because it caused people to fear the unknown. But see, Revelation, they were so big. You know why they fearing the unknown when Revelation pull up? It's because they have taught the lie. See, it wasn't that Revelation was coming to bring or instill in us a fear. It's that we have been taught the lie for so long, even embrace Revelation. So what do? Stay out of it. Now, I think I was 17, 18, and 19 when I got into Revelation. And I read Revelation. And yes, it was very confusing because I was seeing all these beasts come up. Every time you turn around, a beast here and a beast here, and the 7 horns and a lion with this many heads and all this. And I was like, wait a minute, But I did read it, and I used to read all of that. But what he's saying is the reason why they stayed away from it is because their lies couldn't connect them to what was going on. So this is what he was saying. He said they get on here and they always talking about the fallen angels. He said they talk about the fallen angels, and they talk about Genesis 16 and what happened. They want to talk about the giants. They want to talk about the fallen angels. And he said what they didn't understand was this. Genesis 3 and 15. No one is falling down. I am not constantly, every time you turn around, kicking them out of the kingdom. He said they missed it, Deborah. He said that when he brought, what's his name? Satan down, Satan and his. That means he had spiritual angels that was his seed. And the other ones were coming down into the birth, through birth. But don't forget, there was some that was what? Put down to the uttermost darkness in the pit, down in the uttermost darkness, and chained. Now, the Father said to me, he said, now, do you see Revelations? And you see now versus what you seen when you seeing all these things coming up and all that. Guess what Revelation is, y'all? The Revelation is like this here. Revelation is like this here. This is Yah. Bam! 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 He bringing everything that's been bound up, and they still can't comprehend it. Instead, they said everything up is falling down. No, it's not, baby. The Father said to me, when I was in the bed, didn't want to get up. He said they want to keep blaming something that they were taught to believe, because this is what so many books do to people. They grab all these books and they all really, if they put them all together, they'll see all of them are saying something totally different, Deborah. But they can't seem to grip. What are you all doing? He said, here he is in Revelation. He said, you sitting here telling it, but I'm telling you, here I am in Revelation, the end. I'm pulling up with all kind of things coming from the pit. I'm sending keys with the angels to go down. I'm sending stars down. I'm sending them all down to go get the everything from underneath the earth. But what this man does, they want to keep saying, oh, we got fallen angels coming down, and we got all this stuff that can't, Yah don't even want to be bothered with it, because he said they fail to realize up in Revelation, do they know what's going on? You see, it doesn't matter what's, because what he's doing it from the underneath. He's bringing things up out from underneath. Their tails keep saying it's coming, the fallen angels. You can't mix the fallen angels with what the Father is doing in Revelation, bringing these bad boys from underneath the ground. Why? Because he knew he had them locked down at one time. And I feel really sad. Y'all might say, well, why would you feel sad? I do feel sad for the Creator. I feel sad for him because it's so plainly seen. It's rolled out. It tells you what he's doing, but they take what he's doing. I'm talking about Judah. Anybody, any and everybody. He say left, they say right. He say up, they say down. And I get what he's saying. And this is why he has to go out with the great bang. That's why. Because he said they really think they had it. They got it nailed. They think they know they left and they right. They think they know everything. They think they know my left. They think they know my right. And they never knew anything about my right hand power. So what he's doing is, he was telling me when I was lying down, he said, here I am pulling all these things up out from the bottomless pit. And they sitting here talking about something coming from fallen angels and aliens. Do they know what I'm doing? See? Now, this is not him saying it like Sister Deborah is saying it. He just speaking it to my spirit. And that's how I'm feeling it. You see, it's the way I'm saying it. Do they understand what he is doing? You know, and it's just like he have always said, like I said, that he said, they don't even have a pen needle or light. Because he's saying, okay, Deborah, the whole Revelation telling you what I'm doing. Do you look? Can you see how they rewriting it? People don't even know you are rewriting everything, y'all. He didn't already left the light on for you. He charged Satan to leave it on, and he left a pen needle light, and you still can't see. Is are people in that much darkness where they cannot see? He said, here it is, Deborah. He said, I'm sending angels from heaven. I'm giving them the keys to the bottomless pit. He said, wasn't there two witnesses that came? Didn't you hear about those two witnesses that came, Deborah? They had the power to kill with fire out of their mouth, and that it won't rain. They had power, y'all, those two angels. Those two witnesses in Revelation. No one ever think, well, wait a minute. Everybody in the world was afraid of these two witnesses because the type of power they were given. But then you hear him tell this angel to go down there and loose down in the bottomless pit and let the beast up. Father, Yah, why are you gonna let the beast up? Oh, I got to get the beast the power to destroy the two prophets, which is the witness, the two witnesses. You see how he rumbled? He said, now they didn't even see me do that either. He said, when I had shot the star and it was an angel that shot down, and I gave him the keys, and it tells you he was given the keys to open up the bottomless pit where there was smoke and how the locusts came up, and he charged the locusts. Don't you all bother those who who have my seal. He's telling these locusts, why ain't we seeing this great, wonderful power of this Most High God? Why ain't we seeing him for who he is? We ain't seeing it. He said that's exactly how it is when they get that Bible and think they know me. They don't know me. They never knew me. They want to teach to everybody like they got it wrapped and they got it wrong. Because he's sitting here telling me everything I'm doing for the judgment and tribulation is telling them it's me. Hello, it's me, the Most High, the creator of the beginning and the end. It's me. Hey, drop this key down. Go open up another bottomless pit. Matter of fact, bring up the beast that Satan going to hand over his power. Because he was, and he was not. Now he is again. Can you bring him up for me? Why isn't we missing that? Why is we missing it when he tell angel, whoop, go down, take this here, take this chain, take this seal, and take this key. I need you to do something for me. Can you take Satan, chain his butt up, seal his mouth for me, and put a seal on him for 1,000 years? Can you do that for me? Oh, yeah. Bam, swoop, there they go. The angel is coming to open up the bottomless pit to put Satan down for 100 years. Why ain't we seeing all this glorious and power that the Father is, Father's end days? Why ain't we seeing all these beasts and all these different, the 4 horses and all? Why ain't we seeing the power of the Father? What is it that's going on that we're giving a just reason of our own self-understanding and our feelings and our emotions and our interpretation, our wisdom and our knowledge? We're wrapping it in and calling it what it ain't, and have the audacity to sit on this devil platform and teach it to the mass. So he was telling me, you done read Revelation. You seen what all I was doing, but you see why I have to go out like this? He said, do you see how I'm going to go out like this? And it makes a lot of sense. It always made sense to me. But it makes a lot of sense what he's saying. Makes a lot of sense. Matter of fact, it makes so much righteous. Because it's a standpoint where even the tribulation, I said another one to you. I'll give you another one. Remember the Euphrates River? Remember he said when it dry up, you remember who coming up? 4 angels, right? What man, hold up. Why are y'all calling them fallen angels? See what I'm saying? He said they coming from the bottom. So why are you, and then it's his doing. It's the most, you think that river is drying up because it's drying up? It's drying up from my Father's right hand. That's how it's drying up. It is drying up from the right hand of the Father. It is not drying up because, we don't have enough, what would I say, moisture or water, or they don't have the river coming together. It ain't got nothing to do with this. This still has to do with the mighty hand of the Most High God. And it's going to always have to do with his mighty right hand. So what happens? We keep giving the glory to the demonic and our flesh. And this is why he's saying that we just won't shake the flesh to see the spirit. We want to continue to believe everything in the spirit and not take on the spirit. Now we continue to believe everything in our flesh and not take on the spirit realm, who's going to be cutting up from the floor in the end days. And in these days too. We see what the flesh is doing. Y'all don't see what all these people are doing. Y'all don't see how everything is coming to a head, so that all this mighty and which tribulation has already started, but all the mighty wars and and I'm not talking about the war on the outside, baby. There's a war on the inside of this country that's greater than the war that's on the outside that they keep showing you all, and you all has missed it. There's a reason why they letting these people pull in. These people are coming from all the other, and these people have, just like Revelation 18, this is going to become it's going to come a place where the devil reside. No, what did he say? Let me say exactly what he said in Revelation 18. Let me say exactly what he said. It's going to become a habitation. That's what he said. It's going to become a habitation. Listen to what it says. It's going to become a habitation of devils. Do y'all know why is it that everybody is teaching? Why is it that the Christians, the Catholics, the Hebrew Israelites, the Muslim, the Buddha, everybody is talking about their own demonic reason why things are where it's at and things are going to happen. But no one is speaking on truth of the whole matter that bring light so you can see in the midst of all this darkness. So what is happening is everybody's so busy teaching darkness, and this is what everybody's going to be resting in. Everybody is content. Everybody is calm. Everybody is in a mode of, oh, when they said it's this, it's like they said, so it ain't as, but when it all come down, everybody gonna see that all this time they was on these devil platforms, especially YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all these other ones, that all those people was doing was lying. Because when it hit you, it's gonna hit you and you ain't gonna see it coming. Because they're fooling people up with lies. Now, here it is in Revelation 18, he says that it's gonna become, who is he talking about? Babylon has fallen, is falling. It's gonna become the habitation of devils. Now, why is the devils coming here? It's trying to let the people here in this country understand. The devil is going to sit here and make his home and establish his greatest power right here on this land until it is destroyed. It's telling you that. It's telling you that the United States is going to be the country where the devil habitation of devils. Watch this here. And the holding of foul spirits, and the cage of unclean, hated birds. Hate, who is the hated? Come on now. You all don't understand. So this is what they're doing. They're fulfilling this here as the power of Yah has created. They're bringing them from all four corners to this country here. Because that's why we don't look so much as oh, Babylon got Babylon doing this to Jacob and Jacob. We made too much about us and never about what he was doing. And that's where our downfall is. As the tribe of Judah, we have failed to put it in the proper order in which it was created. And get in our proper mindset in which we were created, outside of the mindset in which we become in the flesh. And this is what has happened. He done sat here and told you what this country is going to become. And that's why they coming in. That's why the people are coming in big time, you guys, is because the people are coming in big time. And the migrants are coming in here to fulfill this Revelation 18. The Father said that the whole Revelation, if they were, but then they can't, the scholars, you all can't even get in it. I hear the heathens teaching this thing wrong. I hear the Hebrew Israelites teaching this thing wrong. No one is seeing the mighty power in Revelation. No one is seeing how he's taking advantage of all that he put in the pit, in the uttermost darkness. No one is looking that way. I mean, he using what he put down. Yes, he is. He can do that. Look at Satan. He took one angel to take Satan down to the pit. One angel with a chain and a seal. Take him on down. One angel did that. While we up on the earth giving all this glory to the devil. We're giving him all this power. We're giving him all this authority. Because where we at mentally, it's gone. We don't see that he's not even entitled to this. Now, let me tell you where it took me to. But we put him there. We put him in power. He is not in the power that you all trying to put him in. But because we put him there and we sealed him there, and it's like people love to see Satan in such great power. So mentally, your mind is where he's at. Okay, so he was explaining to me something took place when Yeshua came down, and he said he had he was asked to come to the marriage feast. Who must have invited him? It had to have been Mary. He told Mary, "What am I to do with you, woman?" He was taking her out of the taking everything out of the spiritual purpose and bringing her into the flesh. That's why he called her woman. What am I to do with you, woman? My time is not yet. My spiritual purpose is not yet. So why are you wanting me to do a miracle? So what he was telling me is that he said, Deborah, how is it that you can see this and you know they can't? It's going back to what he was saying to me is how lost the people are in distance. He said they are so lost, even to the point of saying, and it is said. This shows you how things been smeared, added, take away. Yes, it has. Okay, and it tells you that he had. That's why you need the Ruach. If you don't need the Ruach to enlighten you on what this book is saying, then that's why you don't have it, because you enlighten yourself with the idol god of man. So that's why that's another reason why many people don't have it, because they have enlightened themselves. So therefore, they don't need the Ruach, and the Ruach don't need them. Because when we enlighten ourselves, we miss it. We miss the whole overall. So what he was saying, and it bothered me too, y'all, because I said, no, I ain't finna get up and go over there. I already know. You know what? That's probably why my headache came. I said, I already know about that, Father. I already know about that. He said, but don't you know? You know, but have you ever thought to see, even in the way you speaking, how far people really are? I said, but Father, you taught me that. And I laid in that bed. All of a sudden, I started having a real bad headache. And then I got up and I said, now what is it? What you want me to do? He said, even this, turning the wine into water. They lied on him. That's what he's talking about. I said, but Father, I know they lied on you. I know they lied on y'all. He said, but Deborah, they said Yeshua turned water into wine. Why would I send a mission, my power, and my lamb down to give the flesh of man wine? You see, he said, but I was like, but Father, it's pretty much finished. It's over. They missed it then. And that's when I started hearing those two guys. Later on, I heard those two guys, what made me feel better. It did make me feel better to hear them talk about what took place before the foundation of the world. The Father was on me earlier when I refused to I didn't want to get up. I just wanted to lay there. And he was telling me about how the first miracle that the Son of Man were to perform with his power wasn't for wine. And he said, I want to show you how one can't see in the spirit. They see things in the flesh. And when you see it in the flesh, it's going to be 100 times 100 different than in the spirit. So he was telling me, he said, but I know that you know that it was not wine. I said, yep, I know that it wasn't. And I said, Father, your whole book, to me, I feel 99.9 is lost. He said, and I say, what, them knowing that it was wine, or if it is, what is it? I was confused, y'all. And I started having a real bad headache. And that's what got me up. And that's how I listened to those other two men talking about what took place before the foundation of the world. And then my headache started to, ease down. And I'm like, here I am now. I don't have it, but I'm just showing you that out of disobedient, when he told me to get up and he was dealing with me laying down, and I couldn't understand, why can't I just lay down and rest? And why can't I just lay down? Why do I have to read this and read this? I said, I already know you didn't make no water into no wine. I already know it. Father, it's plainly seen that it ain't made into wine. They just said, and when I said that, I said, there it is. He's trying to show me what today is. He said, if you take that, Deborah, and apply it the right way, you'll see that that's identical the way today is. That is identical to the way they're saying this. And nowhere is it what it is, because they're coming out of their flesh realm to preach and to. And he was telling me that water, you knew, Deborah, you knew that I didn't, that Yeshua did not change that water into wine. And guess how I knew it, you all? He said that he want me to understand that it don't take you to have light to see that. You see? He said that you don't even have to have truth to see that. But when you don't have those, they help you to see it. But if you don't even have those, he was saying to me, but Deborah, is plainly seen. This make people think that I come and I okay the wine for the world. When he made wine, he was just showing me how that verse has been, that part of the whole overall that had took place. He said that's the part of how they got him, as if the power of the Most High Yah was coming down, and the first miracle on the face of the earth was given to the world. Don't make sense to it. It don't make sense. He didn't come down to show his miracles and signs and wonders through the Son of Man for us to see that he made water into wine for the world, because that's what it was. That's why Yeshua told Mary, woman, because he brought her back into her position as a woman. What did I have to do with this? My time is not yet, meaning the things that I am to do with this miracle and signs and wonders and with this power is for the glory of the Most High Yah. Where is Yah gonna get glory out of me making wine for a bunch of people to drink in the world? It don't make sense. But this is exactly what he's saying to me too. He's telling me always connect that where we are at, and even in Revelation in this end days, because it shows you how if you can't get, like he said, if they don't understand Genesis 1 and Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then they don't understand that everything was locked in with him and Satan in Genesis chapter 3 and 15, he's saying that here go this one here. Now the Messiah come on the scene, and the world thinks that my mission in the right hand, which is the power of Yeshua, came down to make wine for the world. No one never gave that a thought. That's what they're saying, y'all. That he made wine for the world. So we wants to say that's the first miracle. Now, what does that look like? Come on now. Come on now. What does that look like to say that he turned water into wine? He did not say that. He never turned water into wine. That was the miracle. The miracle was what you could not see because it was spirit. That was the first miracle. It's bringing down the power of spirit over flesh. That's what he kept drilling in me, and I just couldn't get wine. But I already know it wasn't wine. I know already it wasn't wine. Why do they need to know? They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing else. Why do they? He said, it's even for you to see the distance. It's a form of comfort, so you can understand you're not a long ways from spirit and truth and the light. They are. Because to know that that wine was not turned into water, the Father is saying, to know that, you would have to know that you are spirit. That is what you call. That right there is what you call born of the Spirit. Those that are born of the flesh, they will teach and preach it. That was wine. They will believe it if they saw 2 and 3 more scriptures said it. They will believe it, believe. That's why he said all this about precept and line, a little here and a little there. Those are traditions of men. When that Ruach HaKodesh came on the scene, everything up had to come down. Everything down had to come up. Everything has to bow down to really who that Ruach HaKodesh really is, the true teacher of all things. So he's saying the miracle. Now, this is what's sad. This is what's sad. This is what's sad about it. He's saying that the miracle wasn't that the water was turned into wine. The miracle was that he that is in spirit could see that he gave them only water to the flesh. But he that is of the spirit is the only one can see. You see? There's two. He that is of the flesh is of the flesh. He that is of the spirit is of the spirit. The spirit sees that the flesh only got water, but only the spirit can see it. That's the miracle. The miracle is where coming to show you that he that is born of the spirit can see what is spirit. He that is born of the flesh cannot see what is spirit. They can only see what is flesh. Because I sat back and I read it. I said, but Father, it's just plainly said it. The people who drew the water and the water itself, it's just plainly tell you exactly what it is. He said, but you see, today, that's how far people are from anything. Like I told you. You go back to that verse, Deborah, you can see where the people are today. That's how far from any spirit of light that they are. The miracle was that he that was born of the spirit shall be able to see. The first miracle was for he that can see, which was he that was born of the spirit. He that was born of the flesh could not see it. So what did they do? They said it was what they say that it was. But it was simply what Yeshua and those who drew the water said that it was water. So there's some power in that, showing you at the beginning when he came on the scene. It was for those that are born of the spirit to see the miracles. You see? And that's why those that are not born of the spirit, who has been teaching this book all these years in the flesh, that's why they couldn't see the first spiritual mission on the earth, because they always thought it was wine, and it was not. Yeshua said in many verses, every verse that he has said, and he has been in where he had to do a miracle and sign, guess what? He called it out. So when he pulled up in John chapter 2 and verse 1 through 11, when he pulled up regarding the wine, he never told them. He never told you. He never told me. So I had to take it from what he said that it was. And what did he say that it was? Water. You see how we can take on what the flesh of man says and build up on a spiritual Yah. And it can't be done, but that's what we've done all this time. And that's why the punishment is waiting, the judgment, the wrath is waiting for us. We at the end gate, and it's waiting for us. Why? Because we took everything that was down here for us to see in the spirit realm, And we saw it and we took it and made it about the flesh realm so that people could never know that it's not soul, it's spirit and flesh. Or if we put soul in there, then they ain't gonna really function. Or we just gonna say, and did you know, I don't care how many people revealed it to them. Let's say 10 billion people come to the knowledge of what it says. Do you know 10 billion people would deny those same 10 people? That's how everything was orchestrated to be. That's why you have one book of life, but you have many books that leads to the death. That's why. That's another one sitting in heaven telling you, what's what, to give you the whole ideal of when Sister Deborah be saying 99.9. I'm not playing with that. I'm not saying that if you ever pick up this book. Now, you can't pick up this book and read because it comes by the explaining to you what the word has to say. But we don't want the word. We want the book because the book soothes our flesh, but the word works with those who are spirit. Okay, so he wanted me to see that, and then I had to go. I'm gonna show y'all. I know y'all probably said this lady is cuckoo puff. Look here. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. You see that? Okay, and then I was supposed to have another sheet, but I got fed up. I said, I'm gonna do all this, and it's gonna go vain and vax. Help me to just speak it. Because what he was showing me, everything that he did among miracles, signs, and wonders, those were his assignment. Okay, he called it out. He called it out as healing. Okay, walk or anything that he done, he called it out. The miracles and signs. Well, with this here wine, he didn't call it out. The governor called it out. Mary told him what they were short, but the mouth of Yeshua never called that miracle out. All he said, the servants draw the water and bring the water to the rim. The rim represent exactly what was put in there, water all the way to the top. Nothing was added, nothing was taken away. Why? How can it be taken away? That's the whole purpose. Run that water in them bad boys and hand them things over to them. Isn't that's the miracle? The miracle is only you. The miracle in that is the first miracle was that he that spirit and truth, who has the light of the Most High Yah in them, the servant of the Most High Yah, that was the first miracle was unto them that could see this. So it was given to he that is spirit. That's the first miracle, that he can have them to draw water. Now, if he drew the water and he would say, and there, hand this to them, their wine. He never called that water wine. And then the mystery came into it, is where they called it out. The servants called it out and he called it out. It was only water. And the servant that drew it and Yeshua knew that it was. You all, just a bunch of liars, because you don't have the Holy Spirit to teach you the difference in what is spirit and what is flesh. So they hung on to the flesh and they dragged it into other verses, not understanding what that make for a creator to come to the earth and have the son to use his power to give the world wine. Don't make sense. Don't make sense. Only wine you gonna get is that water. Now, once you taste it and you think that you got something, because I told them to draw that water, that's about all you got. I'm not making wine. And I love it because as you read it, let me see if I can go there. As you read it, it sits here and lay it out. It lays it out. So the reason why the Father was on me is because he wanted me to see, he wanted me to take, this is what he said. He said, Deborah, I want you to take that wine. You remember Mary wanted Yeshua to come to the feast, and it's really so he can do a miracle as far as wine. And he told her, woman, so he was putting her in the flesh realm. Look, woman, this is not my time. This is not it, because he knew it was a connection to his time and wine, but it didn't have anything to do with this moment here. Let me go in here. Luke chapter 4 and 38. I'm gonna go in here and is it? No, that ain't it. No, it's John chapter 2. I'm just gonna cover it and I'm out. But I just thank the Father for just him let me be who he has allowed me to be in him. And here it is here in John in chapter 2 and verse, I'm gonna show you what he said in verse 4. Yeshua said unto her, woman, that means he's bringing her to a flesh realm. What have I to do with thee? What do I have to do with thee? My hour is not yet, because there's a mission that he has to complete in his hour. Remember when he was getting ready to leave, he said the hour is near. He knew it was something that he had to do with as far as laboring wine. So he's telling her, that has been given to me by the Most High Yah during that hour time. What do you want me to do? So as you see, it says in verse 7, we're in John chapter 2 and verse 7. Yeshua said unto them, okay, Yeshua said unto them, fill the water pot with water. Bam! So why did we lie all these years? Because we ain't got nothing better to do. Our ancestors lied. We lied. We sent it on down the line. Nobody wants to correct the lie. Now watch this here. Why is Yeshua saying, fill the water pots with water? And they filled them up to the brim. But what did Yeshua call it? Water. Wait a minute. What did Yeshua call it? Water. What did he call it out to be? Water. Where do y'all get this wine from? Oh, the world said it was wine, so you just made it wine. Y'all, let me tell you something. That is one big lie that has been in this book. And that has been told. That's why we need the Ruach HaKodesh. Because it's going to tell us what? The truth of the whole matter. That's why I'll be trying to tell you, you can't get in this book and think you can precept a line and little here and little there. It's so much stuff in here that you all never had that was right. Never, ever, ever had. That's why he said, and knowledge shall be increased. But the knowledge is only going to be increased in those that are born of the Spirit, not those that are not born of the Spirit. He ain't got time to be increased your spiritual knowledge. So I'm sitting here trying to understand. I said to the Father, I said, Father, I already know he didn't make it. It was water. He said, no, but Deborah, I want you to see. You see this here parable? This is his first. This was said to be his first miracle. I'm just showing you how far here they are walking into the end day time, into my end time, and they never had the beginning time right. You see? So he just took me there, and I'm like laying down in the bed, and I'm trying to get to sleep, and I'm just, and all of a sudden that headache came, and I said, oh no, it's time to get up. Can't play that. And when he was saying to me, he say, Yeshua never told him he made wine. So why did they say that? Oh, because it said that the governor said this is the best wine. But what did Yeshua say? What did he say? Here we go. John chapter 2, verse 7. And Yeshua said unto them, fill the water pots with water. With water. And they filled them up to the brim. The brim is wanting you to understand, so no one won't say he added something to the water. So it's a lot of signs he's showing you that the miracle was, the miracle of this. Let me explain to you. The miracle in John chapter 2 regarding the wine is the miracle for he that is born of the Spirit can see that he ran water, and all they had was water. but they called it wine. The miracle was for he that is born of the Spirit will be able to see what he made it to be. And they called it wine. What did he do? When he had the loaves of bread and the fish, it never done as far as the power of the miracle, thousands of people. It never done into the flesh of the people. That's a great miracle, that we all got something to eat out of what we saw. They never manifested it like Sister Deborah would manifest it. I would look at it and say, woo-wee, tell me you can't do it all. Don't tell me what he can't do. See, these were what we were to do. We were, those that are born of the Spirit, were to capture these understanding. When the Ruach teaches us, we're supposed to capture those things and take off running. We know we in there. But when you don't even know the basics, because they have lied and told you, that's the reason why Sister Deborah say, if you don't know him outside this book, baby, you don't know him in it. Because he's greater on the outside of the book than he is on the inside. That's why he said, greater is he that is in you. He didn't say in a book than he that's in the world. You see, they don't get that. That's too much for them to handle. We want to stick with the book. Because that's the only, do you all understand? The only way people can be deceived is through the book. Through the book. That's the only way. Job, this is Job, the one that's, let's say TBN and all those that was on TBN, these Europeans. They deceive you all by saying 1 or 2 verses. And they've been on there, probably 30, 40 years, making big dollars off of TBN, teaching you all. It's a sad thing. And that's how YouTube is. People are getting paid to teach you a lie. And you all, and ain't got nothing. Because the first miracle is what he was trying to get me to understand. And my head started hurting. I guess that was a mean of saying, get up and get in it so you'll understand what I'm saying. And I just wanted to just relax and lay back. But I'm glad that he have given it to me that way, because I know that's the only way I could have gotten what I received. Was the first miracle was the miracle to those who are born of the Spirit. That was your miracle right there. Because you should be able to see that and know what it was, pull out and say, okay, I got to understand. And next time I step in it, I got to see spirit and truth. You see? But see, what happened is we went to churches, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic Church, Christian Church. We went to Hebrew Israel. Hebrew Israelite is no different than the Christian church, y'all. Y'all keep understanding. You keep forgetting. These are things on the outer man, on the inner man. I bet you now one of you hit it. Name one of you can hit what's in the inner man. Why? Because you all on the outside of man trying to justify an outside book. The only way this book can manifest and come to life is when the Ruach come in, shoot your bad tail through it, say, okay, this here, I know they said this, but it's this. This here, they said this, but it's this. He sat there and said, it's so many verses. You can probably get 20 verses that's telling you, before the foundation of the world, I did this. Before the foundation of the world, I did this. Before the foundation of the world, I did this. Before the foundation of the world, I did this. But what did everybody telling you? Oh, you got to do this, 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 because this book said, but wait a minute, what did he say? See? That's why it was important that he teach me as a young girl what took place before the foundation of the world. And that's why I was so joyful when I heard my brothers out there teaching it now. That's a beautiful thing, because now I heard this one, he say, he's one of the elders, he said, and all this fringes, oh no, he already knew us before the foundation. Because see how? Because they got y'all working on the outer man. And you don't hear these people getting you to work on the inner man, just as long as they can beat you down on the outer, because they know that's all you want. You want to feel you in there. You want to fake that you in there. You want to pretend that I'm all in there. I'm doing it. I'm in there. No, you ain't, baby. You out of there. And when he comes to me and I get this headache, I'm like, but Father, I know it was water. I already know it's water. I know. He said, I want you to do something. I want you to get in it and I want you to speak on it. I said, but Father, but while I'm speaking to you, guess what I learned? While I sit here and shared it with you, let me show you what he taught me. He taught me, Deborah, it was a miracle, but it was a miracle to he that is spirit to see the first miracle out of the hand of Yeshua HaMashiach. And we missed it. The miracle was that he told them water, and they called it wine. He told them water, and they called it wine. But wait a minute. He that is of the spirit, can you see water and they want to call it wine? Oh, I can see it, Father. When okay, that's the miracle. Is that he that's born of the spirit can see that I called it water and they called it wine. So I got something out of it anyway. See, I thought I was okay. I was okay, you guys, with the fact that it says water and it does not say wine. I was content. Not Father. I said, you sure you didn't get him no wine? He said, Deborah, I know I didn't. I'm like, well, why are they saying it? But I was locked in already, accepting what it was. But the key is you can still, he said, Deborah, you can still say that it was the miracle to those who are born of the Spirit, because only he that is born of the Spirit would have caught that. Just like he that is born of the Spirit would have caught and will understand that when Yeshua said the kingdom of heaven is at hand, he's telling you the power of Yah has come down at hand reach. That's what he was saying. The gospel of the power of Yah is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. He was letting you know that power is coming down in full force, and it did. And that's why he was telling Mary, woman, what have I to do with you, with thee? Wait a minute, you flesh. I come down here to work a power and a miracle to those that are spirit. What am I going to do with you? You see, he's telling her that. And see, this is where we get so lost and we can't ever find our way, because we reject the spirit purpose of those who are born of the spirit versus those that are born of the flesh. So this is why so many people believe everything out of those that they think that has, oh, they got so many subscribers, so many likes, they got so many, but baby, ain't no truth. It's no spirit and truth. There's no spirit and truth coming out of those people. I sat back and I listened to, I sat about 7 or 8 after I had to get up and go over this here. 7 and 8. And I said, Father, they see us teaching a lie. And that's when he went to tell me about the fallen angels. And he said, they go, Revelation is cutting up from the floor, up from the bottomless pit. Why ain't nobody talking about it, Deborah? They sitting over here talking about where they going, who they are. He said that they have put themselves on such a high pedestal, a pole. You know how he said the first will be last and the last will be first? He said that Judah has put himself so high. He's placed himself so high. And when he did that, everything he's understanding is a lie. So he placed himself high with the lie. And he's only high to himself, because he's low in the eyes of Yah. Because only one flips the head being the tail is the power of that right hand. It pulls up and make the tail the head and the head the tail. You see? So while we are trying to put ourselves up on a pedestal and say we all that and something, we to this, we to that, we to this, and we to that, and everybody bothering us, and you can't see what your own nation doing in this country, you sicker than sick. You worse than the migrants that's coming in. The habitation of devils pulling in. The foul birds are pulling in. You're alone with the flock, because you still ain't recognized what's actually taking place, because you have no spirit in you of the Most High Yah teaching you spirit and truth. And the people are so content in what they've been teaching you, because if they flip it, they know they're going to lose you. They know if they tell you anything outside of what they've been teaching you, they know they're going to lose you. They know they're going to lose you. And they will, without a doubt. Because the great falling away has already taken place. That's been taking place. But what a great falling away started was in the heaven. That great falling away didn't start on the earth. Come on now. Heavens already knew we had already fell away from any pin, needle, or light. That's what it's all about. You fell away from every little pin, needle of light you could possibly have had on the earth. It's finished. I saw you falling away before heaven and earth was created. The great falling away already took place. Where you at now is where you're going to remain, like Sister Deborah was saying. If you have the pin, needle, light, or if you have spirit and truth, you have it. But if you don't, you up mess creek, and creek is up your mess. Because what people do not understand, and it don't mean it, you don't have to understand anymore. It is over, it's finished. It ain't meant for you to understand in such a midnight hour. You're supposed to have that already in you already. Because heaven put it in the beginning. And if we already running up on the end, where are you running up on the end with? Either the serpent or the seed of the spirit. Which one? You pulling up in Satan's seed, calling yourself Yah's seed, and don't have no spirit and truth in your subconscious, your spirit, or nothing. So he was explaining to that, and then that's why I had to go over all these here, y'all. Every one of his miracles. And I got one on my computer too. Not on my computer, on my phone. I got a lot of them. And guess why? He wanted me to understand the mystery in this water. And it was a beautiful miracle to he that is in the spirit. That all I gave them was water. And the miracle was that they thought it was wine. But you couldn't see it unless the Father allowed you to see it. And then I said to the Father, what you mean? You have to let them see that? It's plainly said right here. That's where you know something wrong. How could it actually say here? Say, for instance, you get a fifth grader. And the fifth grader had to read John, the Gospel of John, chapter 2, verse 7 to 11. That fifth grader would tell you, y'all interpretation, comprehension is totally off. He did not make wine out of this water. A fifth grader. And that's what I'm saying to y'all. The Father's saying to me in many ways. He said, Deborah, a lot of it, I told Satan he had to leave the light on anyway. But what's the sense of having him to leave the light on? They ain't going to see no way. They ain't going to see it. Minds will see. So that's what the light was for. Minds. Right here, fifth grader can see it. Because what the fifth grade would do, they would read it and probably read over it and then give you the full comprehension of what they read it. And then they'll sit there and tell you, wait a minute, it was never said that it was wine. It's just the governor said it was wine. But when they made it out of water and then put the water all the way to the brim, so no one would say it was half water and half wine from the miracle. No, he took it to the water to the brim, letting you know, water to the brim, water to the brim, water to the brim. It's to tell somebody like me who have to come back up in here with the ruach, and he break that thing down. There was always water. You see? That was the miracle. And they used that as the first miracle. Why? That's not the first miracle. The Father ain't sending him down to give the world wine. Come on now. And then labor it the first miracle. Oh, no. Then all the other miracles outweigh it because everything he did, he called it out. But here he didn't call wine out. You didn't hear the mouth of Yeshua, HaMashiach, say wine. You heard the world say wine, but you didn't hear Yeshua say wine. So how do you get wine if he didn't say it was wine, but he said out of his mouth water and you turned it into wine? How could you get away with that all these years, y'all? How in the rats behind could this whole world get away with that? justifying, clarifying, and identifying that was the first miracle. I mean, in every Christian, every Catholic, every Hebrew Israelite, every Jehovah Witness, every Muslim who have poured so much out of here. Oh, he made wine. I think the Muslim says it different. I think Muhammad never says it different. They say it different, I think. I heard a brother talk about that. He said it wasn't wine. Yeah, I think the Muslim might say it's different. But I'm just showing you so many different ones on one accord with each other. Oh, it's wine. Why can't you see it? Because he poured down two seeds: Satan's seed and the Satan seed and the serpent seed. Not Satan's seed. The serpent seed, which is Satan, and the spiritual seed. He was telling him, I'm going to bring down. And how did he bring him down? Through birth, you guys. Through birth. That's what made Adam and Eve one. They were one in the mission of the seed of Satan. And how he gave you an example, he set you a good example. I had some issues with that, y'all. I really did. I said, now, wait a minute. These was young boys. How is it that you allowed? Now, this is me in the wilderness because I'm allowed to ask questions like that because that's the only way I get my answer. So I'm in there and I'm reading this and I'm under the Ruach and I'm saying, well, why would you allow Cain to kill Abel? What's the deal in that? What was that? He said, Deborah, in Genesis 3:15, I gave the first example that I'm going to put something to divide two things. The two things was flesh and spirit, which was Satan's seed or the woman's seed, which is the spiritual seed. So to give the people an up head of what the example was like is I let Adam knew Eve and they had Cain. So Cain came from the seed that chose Satan at the beginning. Adam and Eve, they chose the seed of Satan at the beginning. So when they knew each other, they was in equal. So when they knew each other, they had Cain. You see, they had the seed of Satan. Those two were the seed of Satan, chose to be the seed, not chose as if they chose the tree of life, the tree of knowledge and good and evil. That was the choice of the Father, not the choice of the earth to put it there. Oh, that's the route that they came down. And then they had a son, Cain. He said, but go back, Deborah. These things in here, this is why I tell y'all cannot understand this book by the words. You got to understand it by the spirit. Now, he said, now, right here is another example. He said, now, do you see where it says she was so excited that Yah gave her a man child and they named him Cain? She said, and if you see where it says, and they had, again, they had, let me say it like it says. Watch this here. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 2. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 2. And she again buried his brother, Abel. And then the father come teaching me, and this is what he said to me. This is showing you that you can't read this book, y'all, and think that you got you can't beat nobody down talking about polygamy, okay, and all this other stuff that these men are doing in this world is okay. No, it ain't. That's why it's at the surface now. That's why he finna burn the mess up. Coming from every end of Judah. It's coming from every end. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till y'all hear. Before even January out. Watch what you hear about your own people. Gonna blow your mind. Okay. Now, in Genesis chapter 4, he's sitting here showing you that you can't just take this book and read it the way they wrote it. You got to read it with the spirit. Now, when I was in here, I'm in the wilderness and I'm like saying, but why would you create two sons and let them kill each other? Why would you let Cain kill Abel like for nothing and no reason? He said, but Deborah, you got to follow back to Genesis 3:15. The example was to give an example of the Satan seed and the woman seed. You see, he said, I told you in between those seeds, I put intimacy between. Okay. Now, if Satan has intimacy, he has hate for what? The righteous. And the righteous has intimacy between him. He has hate for evil. You see? So these two kids came out, one representing the seed of Satan. That's why you hear being so excited. And I got a man child from Yah. You see? Now you notice in verse 2, she again buried his brother Abel. Why would this book say it like that? Why didn't it say, and again she knew Adam and conceived and conceived and buried Abel? Why didn't it say that? Because Abel was not a seed of Satan. He came strictly as a representative of the seed of the woman, which is the spiritual seed. You see? So Satan didn't have no nothing, and Eve didn't have no nothing connected. Adam didn't have no nothing connected to Abel. Praise the mighty Yah. That was his example for Genesis 3:15 to give us a up. Those that are in the light, that's born of the Spirit, can get a look at how you can't get in this book and read it and think you got it. No, you don't. Because if you got it, you'll know that Abel, her bringing forth Abel was not the seed of Cain, not Abraham, and Eve coming together. It was not. This was the Spirit of the Most High Yah giving her a seed. That seed is of the woman's seed, which is the spiritual seed. And that's why the hate was already there, you guys. It didn't have anything to do with the whole idea of what one brother was doing and the other one was not. You had to recognize one was the spiritual seed and one was Satan's seed. And if you didn't recognize it, that's on you, because you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit don't want to listen to you, because they don't want to abide in you to teach you all things. Here, people don't even understand that Adam and Eve did not have Abel as a seed connection. It was no seed connection to this. You see what I'm saying? This was having Abel. And that's why I didn't say, and Adam knew Eve again, and they conceived. And she had him, or had another son, and buried Abel. It just shot into it, and she again buried. Bam! He shot into it, letting you know this is a spirit. This is a spiritual thing here, y'all. Just like that water. This wasn't that she and Adam knew each other. You see? Because they didn't. Abel showed up. You see? And she buried him. That's why I won't identify Adam having anything to do with it. Or her and Adam knew each other. And she conceived. That's why I did not tell you that. It just tells you, and she again buried his brother, because that was a spiritual seed. So Abel was a spiritual seed, and Cain was a seed of the serpent. What was between them? Hate. But the hate that's the spiritual seed is totally different kind of hate. It's just hate, wicked and evil and wrongdoing. That's why Abel came doing the good things and doing things to please. Cain came because he came to represent Satan's seed, to do the opposite. That's why he took out his brother. But it was the will of the Father trying to identify those that are in the light, that got spirit and truth, where he abide in them, and teach them that this thing started before the foundation of the world, and this is how I brought things forth. But you can't see it because we so stuck on what these people are saying, and we're glued to it. It's like it's no hope. Really? We're glued to those ways until, like, these men came today talking about what took place before the foundation of the world. And I'm like, woo-wee! Because I like them going like that, because they're taking them way back to the beginning. What did I tell y'all? It takes you right back to the beginning. and make you understand where it started. And once he teach you that, they ain't have to listen ever to nobody else. Because to keep that in mind, it'll let you know everybody else lying. You can't make Yah the lie and everybody else the truth. So therefore, even though you never seen him, but yet you should believe in him. You should know that he is. This is all spiritual. This is how you identify, am I spirit or am I flesh? But when you wait for the things of the flesh to identify he that is in the spirit, then you are flesh, baby. How about that? How about that? So even here, it's like unto the water. You have to be able to have the Holy Spirit in you to divide Abel up from Cain. You see, and see the work of the Creator in this, because the Creator is there to show those that are spirit the light, and the light holds up by spirit and truth, which is the Ruach that's in you. So when he comes to teach you, he's going to teach you the truth of the whole matter. You see, and when these guys are talking about what took place before the foundation of the world, and to the point where they was bringing all the traditions that they was holding up and all this we were keeping, we were saying this because this one person said, let me tell you what this one person said. This one person asked them, if they do this, if this person is a homosexual, I think he said, should we not deal with them? Or should he said, and they were saying, no, we still got to see them the way the Father wants us to see them. You see, and we still should pray for them. You know, just tell it. And I love that. Those are people I know that got hope. They in there. Even if it's a pen needle, it don't matter. It's just a beautiful thing to see some light in them. To be able, it's just a question people were asking and the answer these men were giving. It just felt good to hear Judith come up. Come on, Judith, because you know we are. We at the end of the mountain. Come on, get up here. Because now we're about to get off this mountain. Because we've been waiting for him all this time. Now he's going to take us off the mountain. Come on now. You know, somebody come up and pull up and say they know something. Somebody pull up and say they got something, you know, but they don't. Everybody pull up with this here flesh understanding and making wrong right. No. So this is another example. This is another example of how the Spirit has to teach you. This is why Sister Deborah says to you all, you don't give up this book, but you make sure that the Ruach is your teacher and not the mouth of loudmouth men and loudmouth women. No, they're not your teacher. You got to let the Ruach teach you from the inside out. And don't let YouTube teach you. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patriot, all these places, they're not your teacher. So stop making them a God to you. The Most High Yah is the only true teacher. So a lot of people wouldn't even know that she never had laid with Adam to have Abel. But you don't know it because the Spirit ain't never was your teacher to teach it to you. You see? And another example was, you remember Yeshua was in Gethsemane, where Peter who drew the sword. Do you remember that? And when Peter drew the sword, he chopped the sword. The first question I asked the Father in the wilderness, I'm like saying, wait a minute, something wrong with this picture. I act a fool, y'all. I cut up. I act a fool. I said, wait a minute. Peter cut off the ear of that soldier. All that them people that came out to take you away, Father, it says they had Schaefer, they had all kind of weapons. How is it Peter gonna be with you? Wait a minute, Father, that don't make sense. This is how I get to he gives me my answer. I said, that don't make sense. I said, they wasn't coming to get you. They wasn't coming to get you, Yeshua, alive. They was coming to get you dead or alive. They supposed to just bring you in. Dead or alive, they supposed to bring you in. So you could have came in dead. But it's not the Father's will. But I'm just still saying. So they come to get you in such a great number and with their weapons. And there you stand with Peter, and Peter drew a sword. I said, well, wait a minute now. That don't make no sense. Ain't nowhere you can go. To be looked for dead or alive, and one on your side gonna draw a sword, and they gonna just stand there. Something wrong with that picture. I said, Father, y'all, something wrong with that. That don't make sense. This is my whole life, y'all. Even when I was young, when things didn't make sense, I go straight to the altar of the Most High Yah. Wait a minute, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. And then I start speaking on why it don't make sense. So I was like, Peter drew the first blood. Ain't nowhere in the world all of them came and didn't draw. All of them didn't start taking y'all out. I know that all power was in Yeshua's hand, and he could have did. He knew the hour, and he had to go according to the hour in which the Father had ordained and predestined it to go. But I'm like saying to him, why is Peter drawing the sword? Why is Peter drawing that sword and cut that soldier ear off? Y'all don't get it. Y'all will never get it. Let me explain to y'all. This is another way I say to y'all, if you don't know him outside this book, you don't know him outside this book, you don't know him in it. Because this book can't even come measure to who he is on the outside of it. Because he's the word. This book is the words. So you need the word to give you clarification and identification and understanding of what this book is saying. So he said to me, he said, okay, Deborah, Peter drew the sword. And when Peter drew the sword, he cut off the soldier's ear. And I started talking, but see, I said, but let me see, Yeshua, if Peter drew that sword, they were coming to get you dead or alive. Right then, they should have started, everybody should start cutting. And I know you had the power to freeze it or to make it go away or whatever, but Peter drew the sword. The blood was shed. What went on? And you know what he told me? He said, okay, it's like this, Deborah. It's like this. When Peter drew the sword, it would have been, now listen to what he's saying now. He said it would have been, by natural and by reality, it would have been it. It would have been it. That would have been it, Deborah. That would have been it. But what I did, Deborah, is I froze the whole stage. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I love it. He made it make sense. He said, I froze the scene. I said, come on with it. I knew it had to be something. Sister Deborah be in that wilderness asking questions beyond questions. That's why I don't waste my time listening to these so-called teachers. And I'm like, he said, I froze the scene. And when I froze the scene, I picked up the ear. And the individual that was standing there, I placed the ear back on. That was a miracle. Y'all missed it. You see how y'all don't see? And right here today, you will never hear that in the churches. The Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew Israelite don't ever give Yeshua any glory. They don't give him no honor, no prompts, no nothing. They think they the glory. They think they are the glory. They really do. That's because their teaching come with pride and boasting and ego, to where they didn't understand, y'all, all they got to go 10 toes down. You got to recognize he that's in the end. You got to put him up there toward everything you think, you feel, you see. You got to put him there. And once you put yourself, that's it. You ain't going to ever see him. So I'm sitting here saying, he said, so he picked up the ear and he put it back onto the soldier. And he had a speech with Peter and told Peter, you live by the sword, you shall die by the sword. Now, I said to him, but wait a minute. I got another issue. I knew it was something. And I did. I appreciate the idea of informing me that the scene, the whole thing, that's how he picked up the ear and planted back on this ear. And he turned to Peter and told him, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. And where they never recognized that blood had been shed. That's why they never recognized that the blood had been shed. Because Yeshua froze the scene. Okay? So once he said that, Peter, it went back to normal and they took him away. I said, wait a minute, I still got an issue. What issue do you have now? I said, I'm in the wilderness now, y'all. I said, I have an issue because did not Peter say he would die with you? Didn't Peter say what he mean and mean what he said? Didn't he draw that sword? But I don't understand. How could Peter do what he said he gonna do, turn around and do it, and deny you 3 times? It didn't make sense. I got another question. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. That's how I am. I don't stop because something so down deep rooted in me, it's almost to the point that you don't want to come out until it all bring light. So I'm like saying, okay, when these people teach, Yeshua, when they teaching the people, they run their mouth so thinking they can nail what is being said, but they so far from it. I say now, all my life I always heard that Peter denied, Peter denied, Peter denied, Peter denied, Peter denied. How could somebody deny you after shedding blood to die for you? That didn't make any sense to me, Father, y'all. So Yeshua had to teach me the whole act of what was taking place. Because I'm like, it don't make sense. Okay, Daryl. You remember when I told them that I must go and they was going to come and take me away? Peter was the main one that says, no, they're not, because I will die with you. So I'm going to fight, with you. I'm going to die with you. Well, the Father, the kingdom, has already set it that I die this mission alone. So for Peter to have said that, that was out of the righteous will of order. So according to put that back in order, I had to look to Peter and put the curse on Peter to deny me 3 times. He said, so therefore it won't look like Peter was about what he said and say what he's about. But then here I come in. Peter said what he's going to do, and he did it. He drew blood. He was bringing the war. He drew the blood. He cut the flesh of the ear off. So he was about what he said. I'm going to die with you. They ain't going to do nothing with you. I'm going down. But because the power from heaven says only Yeshua HaMashiach has to die for you, not you for him. Therefore, Yeshua had to bring in 3 denials, which is a curse. So it was 3 denials that Peter had to have said to erase the whole mind frame that he was going to die with Yeshua. So therefore, when he said he would, did he draw the sword? He meant it. But to erase that whole scene in the inner person, to know what really took place, is to see that Yeshua put a curse so we can see the curse to be heavier than what he said he would do, which would take the lives of he would die with Yeshua. So how did Yeshua? Peter said, no, they're not going to take you. And if so, I will die with you in a sense. So what did he do? He said, okay, in your mouth, I'm going to put a curse and you're going to deny me 3 times. Okay. So it had to take away him saying that he would die, you see, with Yeshua or for Yeshua as well if they come after him. Even though he did it, he kept his word. Peter kept his word. But what was put on Peter? 3 curses. And that was the curse for him to deny that he even knew him 3 times. That's the heaviness of that curse that Peter had on him. It was heavy enough to wipe away your boasting that you're going to die with me. At the same time, you're going to deny me. You see? So that was the working of the Father to the Son to see to it that work out like that. You see how they came in? So now Peter gets the curse. What was the curse? Alzheimer's. like unto Alzheimer's. Peter denied Yeshua, not because he denied him. He denied him because of the curse. It's just like us being here through the curse. Can we get out of it? We can get out of it spiritual, and that's what the Father wanted us to do. The Father wanted us to see the way out spiritual, but we instill in it fleshly because we can't see it spiritual. We want to rest in it flesh and call it that. But he wanted us to be in it in the flesh, but he wanted us to come out in the spirit. That's what the Father wanted us to do these 400 and some odd years. See, y'all didn't know that either, did you? I'm sorry. You didn't know that, did you? Oh, I'm so sorry. You didn't know. Yes, he wanted you to come out of it in the spirit, even though you're in the curse in the natural. In case you didn't know that. So here it is. Peter turned around and he cursed him 3 times. And the reason why it is for he that is born of the spirit, the person that has the light to see it, is when Peter was following behind him when they took Yeshua away. You notice, I think it was a woman, somebody was at the trash can said, but wasn't you with him in Gethsemane? Weren't you with him? Because somewhere along the line, she or whoever that was at the trash can was with him. Was there. How are you going to ask? No, she was with them when they came out to take Yeshua. So why are you going to ask Peter, weren't he with Yeshua when you saw him there? You mean you didn't see him cut that ear off, woman? You didn't see him shed that blood? So why are you asking him? Was he there when you were there? And you knew he was. So why are you asking him when you knew he was? Why are you asking him if he was there when you knew he was there? Because that's how the curse rumbled. The curse had to be a sign from the beginning to the end. Because I sit there and I'm telling you, I be all in. I said, wait a minute. How dare this individual at the trash can ask Peter, weren't you with him? When you know that he was. And I was like, How are you going to ask him? You saw him cut off the ear, didn't you? And all of this had to do with showing me what took place by Yeshua freezing the scene, pick up the ear, place it back onto the man, and turn to Peter and said, you live by the sword, and say something to Peter, you die by the sword. And then he brought it all back to play. They never missed a beat. They never missed the ear being cut off, the Schaefer, or him cutting the ear off or nothing, because Yeshua froze the scene. So this individual, that's why she didn't know if she saw him or not. All she was assigned to say, weren't you with him? Now, if you know you seen him with him, why are you asking? This is the way they brought in his denial. He can't deny until someone asks the question. You see? So each time he denied, and he got so frustrated the last time, he began to say words that he should not say, but he began to say it because this was the frustration he was supposed to feel this time. This denial was something heavy to him. Very, very, very heavy to him. But why was it so heavy to Peter? Because it had to erase his mouth saying that he would die for Yeshua, knowing that the mission, that no man died for him, but that he laid his life down. So they had to wipe Peter's mouth out by letting him deny him at the same time. When you say you're going to die with me, watch you deny me, which the denial was heavier than him saying he's going to die with him. So that's what the purpose of the curse that was put on Peter. Peter never denied him. Peter never, ever, 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 ever denied the Most High Yah. How is Peter going to deny him and drew the sword? Peter ready to fight. Somebody draw a sword and bring blood out, cut a flesh off. Come on now. It's time to rumble. So Peter had the mindset to pull up, throw up, and throw down. Peter had it. He meant it. But something was powerful than what Peter meant. And that was to bring it back down to where it needs to go in the order of the Father's will, which, okay, we're going to give him 3 denial curse to wipe away the idea that you think that you can die when you wasn't assigned to die with him nor for him. So that's why they put the 3 curses on Peter. So it wasn't that Peter denied him out of himself. Woo-wee! No, Peter denied him out of the curse that was placed on him was too heavy. He couldn't get out of it. It was a curse by Yeshua to deny him 3 times. So word he got, what happened? So when Peter felt that end of that denial, that's why it was so heavy on him, y'all. That guilt of him denying him was so heavy. It stuck with him. It stuck with Peter. It stuck with Peter. It stuck with him. And what happened? When Yeshua came back, he knew he had to get to Peter. If I don't get to nobody, I got to get to Peter. Let me get to Peter. Where's Peter? He out there fishing. Oh, I got to get to Peter. So Yeshua had to get back to Peter to erase the whole stress of denying him. Because Yeshua knew that that was a curse that they needed to place on Peter to erase the fact that you don't die for me. I come to die for you. You see? So the way they erased it is when Peter came, when Yeshua had come back, and he's back, and he had risen, and they was on the seashore, and Peter, remember, he didn't have no clothes. He was out there on the sea fishing. And I think Yeshua said something about draw your net on the left or the right of one of them and pull in, and they had pulled all the fish to the shore, and they had a fire going on. And that's when you saw Yeshua come back to take away the stress of the 3 denials within, out of him, from his spirit, out of his flesh. Because Peter was still dealing with the fact that he denied him. And that was the purpose. You can't die for me. I come to die for you. But since you're going to speak that, I'm going to have to allow you to speak something different. And that is deny me. So what he did on the shore when he came back, he had risen, and Peter was out there fishing. He told him to pull the net on one side, and they pulled it and they fished. And Peter was still sitting there with that emotional feeling of denial now that he see Yeshua. And Yeshua said, Peter, do thou love me? Peter said, I know all things. Do thou love me? Feed my lamb. Feed my lamb and feed my sheep. He said it 3 times. The 3 times was to take away the curse, the emotional, embedded feeling that Peter had because he denied him 3 times. So the Yeshua had to come back and tell him to feed his lamb and his sheep. And his sheep, so the sheep, the goat, no, the lamb and the sheep, or the lamb and then the sheep and the sheep. And that was the 3 times he told him was to take away the 3 curse that was placed on him. So Peter never denied anyone. Then I get to be a younger person. I'm in church and I'm trying to understand what these here ministers, they used to teach. And it's every church you would go to. I used to go everywhere. And I heard them people saying about Job, and I just couldn't get with Job. And as a young girl, I couldn't get with Job. And I'm like, talking about, they never really, you know what they said Job was? Job was a mental case. Because of what happened to his children, him losing everything, he was a mental case. That's what they said about Job. Do y'all know that they preach that and teach that way? They said Job was a mental case, even to today. Because he said this, and I'm going to break it down and I'm out. I salute you all. Job said, ye though thou slay me, praise the mighty God, yet shall I trust in thee. Ye though thou slay me, oh Father Yah, yet I shall trust in thee. So all my life, I've always heard it preached and taught that he was out of his mind because of all he lost. No, he was in his right mind. He was closed deeply in his right mind. What Job is saying is what I have felt I've been saying for 5 years on this platform. Job was speaking of he that had all power, that has orchestrated all things. And we was thinking he was out of his mind because he lost what he had. So now he's loony and he's saying things he should not say. That's what the pastors and the bishops, that's how they teach it. No, he was saying it right on time. And what he was saying was what you call strictly spirit and truth. Ye though he slay me, yet I shall trust in him. He knew Satan wasn't slaying him. Job had sense enough to know that wasn't Satan slaying him. He knew who it was all the time. Yea, though you slay me, yet I'm going to trust in thee. Job knew it, like I always knew all my life. He's the beginning and he's what you call the true end. We talk about this Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end, and you really don't know. You don't know him from the beginning, nor do you know him from the end. Only can you know him through spirit and truth, through his own spirit teaching you his truth. His truth is not a book. It's who he is greater in you. You think he needs the book for you to be great in you? I don't think so. And I wouldn't tell nobody that either. That the only way he gonna be great if he got to follow this book. You see how messed up from the flow of the mindset. And this book couldn't have taught you what I taught you today. This book could not have told you that that water was not wine. This book would not have told you that Eve and Adam did not Abel's seed was not of the seed of Cain and not Cain, Adam and Eve. They did not know each other to have Abel. She just buried him. You see? You would have never known that. You would have never known he froze the seam to put the ear back onto the soldier. You wouldn't have never known the curse that Peter had put on him was because of his mouth saying that I would die with you. They ain't gonna take you away. I will die with you. I will fight with you. They gave him 3 curses. It was a form of Alzheimer's. Peter ain't never in his life denied him. Never in his life. It was the curse that denied him. But the curse was there to correct his mouth, saying that he would be the one to die with the Messiah. You can't do that. You're going up against the will of the Father. So they erased it by putting him 3 curses. But when he came back, he was looking for Peter. He needed Peter. Why? Because when he rose up, he knew that he had to get to Peter to take those 3 curses off of him from the inside out. You see? And that's why he said, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Feed mine, and feed mine. You see? See, a lot of people don't understand a lot of things. They think they knew. He asked Peter, he said, well, who do they say that I am? Who do they say that the Son of Man is? Then he said, who do they say that I am is? Peter said, the Son of the living Yah. He stepped beyond the Son of Man and it revealed the Son of Yah. That's went with the mission of the Son of Man to reveal the word and the power. That's what Peter was doing, revealing the word and the power. And that's why Yeshua said, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to thee, but the Father in heaven. See, these things people don't know nothing about. What I'm talking about, they don't know nothing about this. You will never hear nobody on the face of the earth teach you this because they didn't understand. Only way you're going to get things is from the inside out, not the outside in. That means the Spirit comes, abide in you, and he will teach you all things from that level. From that level. So I understood what Job was saying 100%. I understand the curse itself. Because if it's a lot of things we say that's not true, one thing we can fall in on are the things that's actually taking place that has been said. But even though it has warned us and said it, you notice no one takes it to be true. I, a living prophet, sees that. No one take the word to be true. They take the words, but not the word. Because the word come to reveal what the words is trying to say. So they'll take the words without the word. And that's why they think that he made wine and he didn't do anything but filled it up with the brim of water. Shalom and shalom. I hope you got something out of that.